You have clicked that pile of audio gold known as the Half-Ass Podcast. And now, here's a person to say something.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, mate.
Oh, this fucking cat is already in the mic.
Pants.
Is it coming through?
Nah, I don't hear him.
Okay. You'll hear him in the end. Holy shit, that coffee's hot.
Do some French press.
Yeah, I did. I got some high yield, apparently, out of the other better stuff. So it's... Yeah, this stuff kind of tastes like butt, but it's full of caffeine. And I'm wondering if that's maybe what I need to come back to the world of the living after a 19-hour drive.
Oh, yeah. What time did you guys end up getting back?
2 a.m.
It's not too bad.
No, but it's
an hour off the predicted.
It should have been more like midnight, but we hit full-on downpours in the mountains in the first 4 states.
Oh, we had to fucking stop.
Yeah, I almost did.
Because we couldn't see.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it was always coming down the mountain at fucking 80 miles an hour. And it's out there, the weather's weird. It's these little cells, these little black clouds, and they just float in and go fucking bang, and you are nailed.
You get nailed by them, and then it's like you look over your head, and it's perfectly normal. You're like, what's happening? Yeah, you got 10 minutes, and then it's like it wasn't there. Yeah. But we got it in South Carolina. It hit us in North Carolina. We got it in Tennessee, and we got it in Kentucky. That didn't even take the time off. We got an hour-long backup in Tennessee. Lost a full hour. Oof. But we were making pretty good time. Then we went to Louisville, and I've decided that I'm pronouncing it Louisville. I've had enough of their bullshit. We pronounce it Louisville. Yeah, well, go fuck yourself. That ain't how it's spelled, and that ain't how it's pronounced. You don't get to just pronounce it wrong because you live there. I've always called it Louisville.
Yeah, the locals call it Louisville. That's a fucking speech impediment, not a local affectation. So we got there, and if you avoid tolls, as I do, it routes you right through downtown, but you only go like 12 blocks, you hang a right, you go over the bridge, past the KFC Yum Center, and you leave that godforsaken state. But right when we got to the bridge, 3 cops in yellow jackets came out into the intersection and basically shut shit down.
Really?
Yeah, and then 2 cop cars, because the bridge is 4 lanes, 2 each direction. Big yellow bridge. It's kind of cool, but I hate Louisville forever. 2 cop cars cleared out the lanes leaving the state. Apparently, somebody must have gotten T-boned at the other end of the bridge. And apparently the guy died, because you can find out that fast. Before we got rerouted out of the state, we knew the dude had died. Yeah, but the accident was so fresh that Google just kept trying to send us over the bridge. It took 12 minutes of dicking around in the bowels of Louisville, and then finally it said, "No, go down this way and around, and then backtrack over to your highway." So that's what we did, but we lost another 20 plus minutes in that godforsaken state.
As you gained a hate for Louisville, I gained a hate for Ohio. That state should be deleted. We should put a wall around Ohio. I literally hate that state. We saw in 100 miles, no joke, at least 30 people pulled over in 100 miles.
No shit.
It was bad. And then we get like halfway through where we're going, and they're like, this month in Ohio, we are cracking down on the roads that have the highest incidents. And then the funniest part is the next like commercial that comes on. 1 in 5 families in Ohio are risking homelessness. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be pulling people over that are going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit.
And especially when you're the guise of this whole funneling of public funds is that you're making it safer by reducing incidents. But when you pull a car over on the fucking interstate, all you do is set up a fucking incident waiting to happen.
And I literally, we were like in a group, you know how you get in like a group with cars and you're all going like 80. Y'all
just flow.
He just pulls over the person in the back. I'm like,
that's
dude,
absolute bullshit. That's what like, you don't
do. I was like, this guy, I'm like, they are fucking on it.
No, that is bullshit.
I was like, I literally we got into like talk radio when we got like by Dayton. I almost called talk radio and I'm like, yeah, I've been in your state for an hour.
And I hate
Turns out this fucking place sucks. He was like going on about how he thought of this great idea, how goats, they should bring goats to eat.
Graze the highway merger.
I'm like, hey, that's not a new idea. You're not like some scientist here. He went on for like a half hour. I'm like, yeah, that's an obvious thing. But guess what? No one wants to herd goats on a fucking highway.
Yeah, well, a goat just wanders out in a 95 mile an hour traffic and there's just fucking goat pieces everywhere. That's
fucking
not
turned it to mist.
Yeah, just hey, honey, did you see a blood mist somewhere? I miss a creature. I don't think there's a creature around, children. Lock your doors.
Fucking knocked out by a goat leg.
Guy in a motorcycle just fucking goat head and eats it.
Oh God, that'd be so bad.
Yeah, I think
I've never even thought about that.
Isn't that
an animal on a motorcycle?
Oh God, man. Yeah, run into a deer or some shit.
Imagine you hit a bowl and it just like you just hit it and it just stomps you out after.
Right? Run into me, son of a bitch. No, that's really pissing me off, though. I mean, isn't that one of the top 5 unwritten rules? Like rule number 1 is 5 miles over is safe, and number 2 is the guy in the back never gets it because he's keeping up.
And the thing is, we were on the interstate. Everyone was going 10 over. Right. He just comes up behind, just pulls the dude like in the back over. I was like, really?
It's like traffic was flowing. You impeded the flow of traffic by taking somebody out of it who wasn't doing anything and then unsafely pulling them 2 lanes over to a goddamn median where now you're creating another clusterfuck.
And to me, pulling someone over on the interstate is not safe. No. Whatsoever.
No. Because now either the people in that right lane are going to have to quick merge into the left to get away from them, or they just fucking book it right next to them at 90 miles an hour and make it even more unsafe. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, 100 miles, at least 30 people. At least.
Yeah, I mean, I get it when somebody, you got to pull them over and set the tone, but somebody keeping up with the flow, man.
They did like a fucking scumbag speed trap too that I've never seen before. Like,
did your directions warn you about them?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, but that's cool.
The way they did it was super scummy. You come like they did it. They set up a speed trap as soon as you cross the state line into their state. And then
that's bullshit.
They had 3 cops there. So they like spread them out. And then you go 20 miles and then there's 2 more.
Yeah, because you think you're safe now that they've already dicked with you at the border. And
I'm like, oh, you're going to be that scummy. Like, it just seems so scumbagish.
State's definitely run by Republicans.
Oh, I literally was thinking that.
Yeah, they are. They're gerrymandered shitless just like we are. Some of those districts are fucking comical. They look like something in a fucking petri dish. And
and they look like fucking forest rangers. It just pissed me off.
You Buckeye.
Buckeye fan. And they're just assholes too. Like, you're on the interstate, you're going 10 over, you get pulled over like, yeah, I was going 10 over, but I'm going with the flow. Like, what do you say there?
Yeah, you're just like, I was just keeping up, man. It's less safe to get out of that.
It's like, I feel less safe being pulled over right here.
Yeah, it's that fucking dickhole weaving between lanes at 95 miles per hour, shooting gaps that he shouldn't be fucking shooting. That's
dude.
Like, hey, man, I got the cruise locked on. You could give me fucking 3 seconds to move over before you just fucking swerve over and around me. Like, I'm not a fucking Nimrod.
And there's you learn a lot about people when you get a bunch of people from different states on an interstate.
Yeah.
They don't know shit about driving on the highway. It's funny
because what happens is you start to notice that there's a specific plate that keeps showing up every time there's a dumbass traffic maneuver. And it's like, oh, okay.
North Carolina for me. Every time.
I think it was South Carolina for me, but we were also
the Carolinas in
most
general
of the time.
It's like one guy's going 90, one person's trying to go 65, the other guy passes you, then goes into the other lane and puts his cruise on lower than what he passed. Yes. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the way out that bothered. There was a fucking guy. I think he was from Ohio, actually.
There's always a fucking guy.
Little red car from Ohio. Left lane, 5 over, cruise locked. And he wouldn't let you, then he wouldn't give you any room on the right. So it was like, all right, well, if you're not going to fucking move, then I will go around you. But he would speed it up anytime there was a little gap. So I was like, you're going to seriously make me fucking. So I finally had to pass him at like fucking 98 because he wouldn't let me go. I had like 98 in the right lane. Like, fuck you, dude. And like, you're doing this on purpose. You're a twat. I've
never seen so much people in both lanes going the same speed, blocking everybody.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So many times. Yeah. I was like, what is going on?
I thought I was going to have fucking embolism. I was just freaking out.
I wish you could just pit maneuver people.
Say, one of you has to go faster than the other. That's how this works.
Yep. They're just going even in the both lanes. Right. There's 37 cars behind them.
Fucking get behind each other. Go the same speed together over there.
It's like, I feel like a dick when I'm like blocking a dude that's going 35 over.
Yeah. Like I said, if you give me 2 fucking seconds before you cram up my ass, I will get out of the way. But these twats were all just fucking, they'd zoom around like, all right, I was going to fucking get over, but you have fun. You see your fucking insurance.
You really see the stars of driving ability when you get on the interstates.
Yeah. And every once in a while you get those cars where you pass them and it's just like head nod, hat tip. Like,
yep.
Yes, sir. You saw me coming. You got over and out of the way. That's how you do it.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
I had about 30 of those on the way home.
Yeah, there was some, I can't say it was all bad. There was a lot of people who played it right, but there was people that.
It's just like when you get in like the sort of like medium heavy traffic, it's like people just don't know what the fuck to do.
Well, I kept waiting for it to clear off because we drove straight through Saturday night and that road didn't start emptying off till more like 9:30 on Saturday night, 10 o'clock. I think by the time we'd hit Illinois, it cleared off
July 4th. Makes sense.
We got to see a lot of fireworks on the way, so that was nice.
Dude, there was a few times where I'm like, it sounded like people were shooting guns. I was like, that didn't sound like a firework.
Like, I don't know. That last gas station was a little methy, and I'm a little concerned.
And they don't have change.
Hey, I tell you, the next morning I went in and they fucking gave me change.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, I went in and bought that Yingling the next morning, and it was like 15 cents. I'm like, oh, the AM shift don't give a fuck about handing out change, I guess.
Oh, we stopped at probably 3 gas stations, and I looked for Yingling, not in the freezer, and none.
None of them?
They were all in the cold. I was like, not even worth it.
Yeah. I said cans will hold up a little better, but still, I hate to risk it. Spend $20 on a case and then fucking bring it home and it tastes like butt.
Definitely not worth it. Titans helmet logo ranked worse in the NFL. I don't know about that.
Which one?
Titans? I feel like there's worse.
Shit. You pick up that thunder on the mic?
Yeah, I did actually hear that.
Holy fuck.
I thought you were just like moving around.
No, that was thunder, man. My lights dimmed and then that fucking happened. Fuck.
Yeah, it's supposed to storm pretty bad tonight.
But that's the other thing I realized when we were out there is this. Rain and storms are not created equal. We
no.
Rained every day we were there, but it was like somebody was running a fine mister over you. So I like walk the dog. I'd be out there for 10 minutes and come back in and my shirt would be damp, but it just rained constantly. And I said, in the mountains, you got those little dark cells that would just dump on you. But I didn't see lightning at all until Kentucky. And then we get back out here and it's like fucking boom. Like, that's right. We get storms.
Yeah, my buddy lived out west for a long time and he kind of like forgot how storms are here.
Yeah.
And he came back and he's like, holy shit, that's terrifying.
Well, that's what Todd said too. He said that's what he missed living in California was having thunderstorms. He's like, you get storms, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, but like, you know, we're going to get some crazy shit when it's super humid and a cold front comes in.
Right. When those two things hit, it's like, oh man, strap down your cows. Shit's about to get real.
The whole town is just prepared for trees in the yard, like in the road.
Right. Everybody's preemptively on Facebook, making sure everyone else has power still.
Yeah.
You got power over there?
That pissed me off so much. People are like, you have internet? I'm like, you're on Facebook. Those people won't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, if they don't have internet, they're not going to see this. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's those differences.
It's pretty wild, like, the differences in storms and stuff for sure. Just in like in a little drive.
I've never lived anywhere but here. So, I mean, this shit hadn't occurred to me until fairly recently, but damn.
Well, I just know of it because I went down to my brother's all the time. He's like, oh yeah, it's going to rain every day for about 10, 20 minutes. And then it's going to be sunny for about 5 hours. And then it'll rain again for 10, 20 minutes. And then it'll be sunny for about 5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we were having out there. I suppose if there's that much humidity by the ocean, you're going to have some precipitation.
And then you got the good old hurricanes.
Yeah. Yeah. That was when we were there. I was like, oh man, I'd like to move on here and just live on that beach. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck, hurricane. Like losing everything all in one shot. Like, yeah. Well,
I was thinking about that too. It's like, man, it'd be sweet to own one of these stilt houses, but it could get wiped out in a storm.
And the insurance has got to be insanely high.
Oh, it's got to be.
I bet it's as much as your fucking mortgage.
Dude, I bet you pay a ridiculous amount in land, like just the land tax.
And the tax, I'm sure.
I bet you pay more than what you pay for it in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, beachfront value. Fuck.
Yeah.
There was actually a lady on the beach walking her dog, and she was apparently a realtor. And that bitch was never off the clock, I guess, because she was chatting up people and trying to fucking sell them when they were talking about her dog.
Realtors make bank on the coast.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're never off the clock doing that.
It's like, I wish I would have thought about it. I would have asked her a bunch of this shit, but those questions hadn't yet occurred to me until we were doing the search on the drive down the beach and checking the prices. Good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. They get wild.
I mean,
like my brother,
condos,
he bought his house. They rented forever in Florida, but he bought his house before the pandemic. It is already $120,000 more than what he paid for it.
Yeah. The market down there went insane.
Well, it's nuts because everyone went when COVID happened. Everyone's like, fuck California, fuck New York. Like they all started going to those like open states.
And Stu Gatz talks about it all the time. He said he would get phone calls and letters like constantly trying to buy his house for way more. And he's like, I'm tempted to do it, but then where the hell am I going to live?
Well, when we were there, someone called for one of their properties in Texas.
I know. I wish I would have got that.
It's like, no.
Mr. Johnson, no is home.
It's pretty insane how much people have moved to Texas and Florida the last few years. Texas is like blew up.
It's not good for their grid. They're already having problems.
Yeah, and, they're all against renewable energies.
Well, right. And that's the stupid
like
thing.
Oil and gas. It's like, you don't want solar panels on your roof? Like, what?
Nah, that's a trick.
Yeah, I remember. I love Rogan, but he'll let like both Democrats and Republicans come on. He had this Republican come on from Texas, and he's like, how we can't switch to renewable energy. We'll lose so many jobs down in Texas. I'm like, you realize that like those will create jobs too.
Yeah.
Like you're
installation. Installation would be a massive undertaking. And then once you're installed, you're talking service. Jobs wouldn't disappear. They would shift to new sectors, probably safer and better jobs.
And just more eco friendly in general. Right.
Yeah.
I don't get why people in the ground don't want to at least try to obviously solar panels and batteries and shit are really expensive right now because everyone wants to do it. But why wouldn't you want to do that? I don't get that.
Yeah. And the prices, kind of come down over the years. I mean, 30 years ago.
Lithium has gone nuts.
Oh, for batteries? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you almost have to have with the solar panels and shit. But it's just gone absolutely nuts.
Well, see, that's the company that's running around here. You can basically choose to stay hooked to the grid, so you don't necessarily have to, you won't worry about running out of power.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that. So if the grid goes down, that still works?
Yours, you'd still get
your solar panels work still?
Yeah.
You?
But like you said, if you don't have a battery, you're only able to use that juice as you have it.
But wouldn't your if you're stuck to the grid, wouldn't in my mind, you'd be feeding energy across the board because you're still on the grid.
Right.
It wouldn't be just your house.
Right. You basically, and it just basically comes out the power would get used in real time instead of being stored. You might
as well just say, fuck the grid, pay $50,000 and just have enough solar panels to just run your shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's
what I would do if I did it.
Well, Jonah is up in Viroqua, which is pretty well hippie central. And he's known people for years that were fully off the grid with panels and shit. And he's like, if they turn the PC tower on, they know they've got about 20 minutes. They need to hustle.
Well, it's way better now, though. Mm-hmm. I know people who run PCs in their fucking van.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's way better now.
Technology has improved so much.
Well, the thing is you need those lithium batteries for storage. That's exactly what it is.
Right. So, otherwise you got to use it.
But the thing is you got to enslave some African country to mine lithium for you.
Right. And we're going to strip mine lithium and suppress an entire people, but
that's
you'll be off the grid.
A lot of those people in Teslas and shit's like, oh, we're eco-friendly. I'm like, you realize that they're mining lithium in Africa with kids, right?
Yeah, you've never seen a fucking lithium mine, have you?
Yeah, it's that doesn't go bloodshed. That's not free of bloodshed.
and the worst part is, what do you do when they fucking die? Now you've got this entire car full of fuel cells. What happens to those? Where do they go? How do they break down? Is that really that friendly?
Well, they got it kind of down pat now, but it's there really is no Tesla workshop, you can't take your Tesla to a shop and fix it.
There are certain dealerships that will handle it, but they are very spread around the country.
And
the closest to us, I think, is actually Minneapolis. I don't even think Chicago has one.
No, you can get, all the Teslas get delivered to your shit, but it's very fucking weird right now. We're in a weird spot with the electric cars.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it as the necessity in a step in the evolutionary process of doing it, that, okay, obviously there's going to be, clunky early designs where in 50 years we'll look back and say, well, obviously that battery was fucking stupid. We should have never done it like that when we could have easily done this. But I said, I understand that as a step in the process. I just don't buying the first hover car. Wait till they work out the kinks.
You want to be the guy that's just oh yeah, we fucked up that programming. You want to be that dude that just fucking crashes first.
Yeah. Oops, forgot to carry a 1.
Yeah. I forgot to put a semicolon in that code.
Yeah, so if it sees a raccoon, it just cranks the wheel to the left. And
I watch a lot of car YouTube channels, and the Tesla Plaid is literally one of the fastest 0 to 60 cars in the world. But the thing is when they race people on the track, it detects people near you and it just shuts down. You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
So it's they go to take a corner and you get near a person. It's it powers down.
This is unsafe.
It's there's definitely some bugs in there.
It's the high-end go-kart.
Well,
Like when the Dells throttles them with a governor.
They kind of like make it so they trust the system instead of the person. And that kind of, there's like a weird balance there.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. When there is an obstacle in your field, yes, you should X, Y, and Z. But when you're a person and you're eyeing that up and making the curve, it's like, no, I'm fine here. Yeah. I can do that.
And then your car shuts down and basically makes it worse.
It's the Han Solo scenario, turn it off of autopilot. Han Solo will do it.
It actually isn't too much NFL news.
No, we're kind of in that quiet part of the season where the big things that happen is somebody had a really great day at camp.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoever reported that, I hate you.
Yeah, because I used to freak out about that type of stuff. Oh, they're saying this rookie looks really good in camp. Well, a few years back, Jonah went to Broncos camp and he watched the day and he was like, okay, it was cool. And he said the next day he read the internet reports and it was, this guy dominates in camp with 2 touchdown catches. And he's like, well, yeah, I was there. I watched it. It wasn't anything. It was, 7-on-7 drills. They threw one up to him in the corner and he grabbed it. It was cool, but.
Oh, I got pissed off on the way home. They're like, dude on the Niners, I can't think of his name. The wide receiver that's holding out. Deebo Samuel.
Deebo? Yeah.
Like, Deebo Samuel refuses to sign an autograph for a kid. I'm like, what the fuck? Fucking Donald Driver did that to me. I wasn't on the goddamn news.
Oh.
Donald Driver, I literally met him on the street. He's like, nah, but I was like 9.
That's bullshit.
I was like, I wasn't on the goddamn news.
Oh, man. That takes Donald Driver down a peg in my book.
Yeah, I was literally like 9, and it was literally just me and him. Like me, him, and my dad. And he's like, nah, I can't right now. I'm like, bro, there's no one around.
Like, yeah, but still. I do it for you. And, somebody else might ask me later.
Yeah, it's that was the only autograph I wanted to, God damn it. Because all the practice squad dudes are signing fucking autographs.
Oh,
it's
right.
Like Aaron Rodgers comes in, signs 1 autograph, leaves.
Yeah, maybe that's the deal. You're like, no. I gotta make it so only these guys.
He went out the back and I was on the backside. He didn't even go through there. So he didn't even sign anything. And I'm like, dude. Yeah. Looking back, lame. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
dick move.
It's hard though, because it's like if you're a big star in the NFL, like you kind of get sick of that shit.
Right. You don't want to all the times signing things, but yeah, still.
Yeah, I was super young too.
Well, that's the thing, is that's when you got to do it, right? Like, oh, here's a little kid. He caught me out back. There's no one around. It's not going to create a giant panicked line trying to get my autograph. I could just sign this kid. You don't even have to be good. You just make a D and fucking scribble.
That's like a vivid memory to me. It's like me, my dad, one other kid, and his dad. And he's like, nah.
Nuh-uh. If I do yours, I got to do this. Oh, that sucks.
But he kind of seems like a hard ass in general from what I've seen.
One of my favorite autographs is a buddy of mine got Mwelde Moore. It was before
Mwelde?
Yeah. Oh, you probably don't remember him. That's
a great name.
Oh, that's what my terrible towel is named, Mwelde. We end up signing him years later. He's just this little third down back, catching passes out of the backfield, shifty, just really fun to watch. Loved watching the guy play.
Like Tariq or like that style or what?
Yeah, kind of like a Darren Sproles light.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen type style.
Yeah, he wasn't in Sproles' category, but just really good guy, fun to watch. I said I named my terrible towel after it.
Yeah.
But before he signed in Pittsburgh, he was with the Vikings, and a buddy of mine must have been at the Mall of America and got his signature. I saw the picture and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, does this guy know how to write? Like, what's going on here? This is unintelligible. He's like, oh, he's wearing a cast on his right hand. Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, God damn, what the fuck? He still signed autographs with a cast on? What the shit?
Did I ever tell you that bit that Tom Segura told about Pac-Man Jones? His buddy went to to a Cincinnati game.
No.
When Pac-Man Jones was there. He's like, yeah, my buddy went to a Cincinnati game. He was like in the tunnel and shit. He had like the VIP type stuff. And he's like, Cincinnati got their fucking ass kicked. So he's trying to like get autographs from all of them. They're all like, fuck you. Like, we just lost.
Right.
He's like, Pac-Man Jones comes in. He's like, you're my dad's favorite player. You should sign this. Fucking Pac-Man Jones look at him. He's like, well, tell him, motherfucker, I appreciate him. He signs the autograph. I was like, that's the funniest shit I've heard in a while.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tell him, motherfucker, I appreciate him.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, the dude that's gotten several shootouts in his NFL career.
Yeah, right. This guy
is going to sign it.
He's got my back. I am in. Yeah, I've never had too much for run-ins with anybody. The most I got there, I said, I've told this before, but a guy from town was on Pittsburgh's practice squad. So we got to go out for a game. We had to hang out in player parking. Nothing like tailgating in player parking because there is no one else there. All the fun is like a mile away down the lot. You can see everyone grilling and partying and having fun while 4 of you stand huddled behind someone's Escalade, freezing your balls off alone in a parking lot.
Oh my God. And of course it's an Escalade.
That was like 03. It was
that's
all
the
Escalades.
shit back then.
Everything was.
Everyone loved those things.
Well, and they were all big dudes. So it was like, fuck, a car that I can get into. So it was double whammy. It's a status symbol and it's roomy. But we saw was it Jeff Hardings, I think was the center at the time, if I remember correctly, fucked his knee in the game. I think tore an ACL, and he got carted right past us in the parking lot on the way out after the game. But that, and we talked to a couple of guys from the practice squad on the way to the bar, and we actually got into the VIP room upstairs at one of these bars. And we're sitting at the bar, and my buddy taps my shoulder and points. So I turn around and literally almost run into Joey Porter, which I think is why he did. He's like, turn around, and I fucking spun right and almost fucking hit him, which is like Joey Porter smoking a Marlboro Red after the game. Like,
oh, you know damn well that dude's good at football then.
Oh, yeah. It's Monday Night Football. The game just wrapped up late. He's in the VIP room walking around smoking a fucking Red. Like, Joey Porter, my guy.
My brother,
and I guess Brett Kiesel. We drank with Brett Kiesel. It was his rookie year too. So that's I don't think Kiesel drank because it's day before a game, whatnot. But there's another practice squad dude there, Eric Totten, and we played.
Eric Totten, that's a great football name too.
It is. He is like this 5'6" white guy, just faster than fuck, playing safety, backwards cap with a dip in, playing drinking games with us. I'm like, this fucking guy. I like this fucking guy.
That's great. Oh, my brother.
When we got home a week later, it was NFL 2K. So the new roster downloads came up, and they were both in it. So I was like, NFL I don't care.
2K.
Like, I am starting Totten and Kiesel in my franchise, and ratings be damned. I started them 56 fucking rating. Eric Totten at safety, you fucking bet. Brett Kiesel at DN, you know it. He's like a 58. That's my starter.
You remember Chris Thompson?
Remember
he
the
was
name.
a running back? Yeah. On he was on Redskins and shit.
Yeah.
My brother, he played like flag football leagues down there and shit. And the team that like stomped him, he like got to talking to like the quarterback and stuff. He's like, yeah, I played football down here, and fucking Chris Thompson came to the tournament and fucking ran for like 7,000 yards on average, but just destroyed the flag football tournament by himself.
Like,
he's like, yeah, it wasn't even fair.
No, that's
and
not.
He's not even. And the crazy part is, and then you look at him and you're like, he's not even a top tier running back.
No, but the lowest tier in the NFL is so far and away above the average person.
A lot of people forget that, like especially on like I was on the Reddit forum for NFL, and they were talking about, this guy, they're talking about QBs and stuff. He's trash. I'm like, you realize the guy that goes 2-15 in the NFL will fucking destroy you, right?
Oh yeah.
And they just don't think about it that way.
No, because they've somehow become comfortable with this rankings of chopping up the 1% of human fucking physicality and dicing that they don't realize they're down in the bottom 2% and they should probably shut the fuck up.
And a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of great QBs that probably got into the NFL and lost a career based solely on their team.
Yeah.
Solely on their team.
Fucking David Carr.
A lot of people think Fields Fields great QB. He's probably going to be a sacrifice. A lot of people talk about it. I always thought Sam Darnold was decent, and then you put him on the Jets for the longest time. And they're like, he's pretty good, but now he's got such a bad rap.
They destroyed him.
He's done because they fucking ruined him.
Pretty much.
And a lot of people forget last year they started 4-0. He had 7 rushing TDs. He was playing great, then got hurt. I forgot to say that. Oh, the fucking Packers are betting favorites for Julio Jones.
I was going to tell you that. I actually read that today myself.
Yeah.
That's one of those things when there's betting odds on it. I'm like, oh, now I believe it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
my dad was saying it, and I was like, I didn't really want him because he looked. You never know. Yeah. You never know with him.
But it's soft tissue with time off. Maybe he heals up and gets some explosivity back.
The thing I like is Aaron doesn't throw 50-50 balls much. He's just going to put it where he's open. And he's not going to make him jump for it.
Yeah. So even if he's not, what he was, he should be veteran enough to be in the right spot and catch the ball. So, yeah, I think there's definitely, you can upgrade on Sammy Watkins. That's for sure.
Rodgers put out a tweet that says Lazard's won.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, time for Lazard to step up. He said it. Well, I was like, oh.
Well, that's definitely something different.
I'm all right with it.
Yeah, you don't see that shit all the time.
The top comment on that Packers post was, oh, that's cute. He'll have a great season in Indy.
No, but that was basically what the article I read was saying, was that there was 4 to 5 places, basically all contenders that he was willing to play.
Can't be worth much now.
No, it's not going to be a league minimum, but it ain't going to be, if it's over $5 million.
I was like 6 or 7.
I was going to say 7 is top end. Otherwise, holy
and he's going to get turf toe in week 2.
Yeah. Or, that hamstring's just not quite healed up yet.
Being such a big body receiver, lasting long is not
muscle, man. He's just, what happens when you're nothing but muscle and you have a muscle injury? It's
just being a big body wide receiver is just a rough go.
Yeah, you're going to take a beating. I said shoulder pads in the legs and bending shit ways it doesn't go, and then trying to get up to top speed and have your leg taken out. Physics, it's mind-boggling to me. It's one of those things as I've gotten older, when you're a kid, you're just like, yay, run, go fast, hit him hard.
You don't even think about tearing a ligament.
Right. That there's all these delicate strands inside your knees that are just pressed to these amazing physical limits. And then you get hit sideways and pop.
You take a wrong step on turf and gone.
And you're like, when you're a kid, you're like, get back out there. Then you hit your 40s and you fuck up a rib and you're like, those men are superheroes. If you have even a bruised rib, you should take a month off and fuck them. I don't care what they're paying you. You say it hurts to breathe, cocksucker. I'm going home.
And that was a big conversation with Mayfield with his shoulder.
Yeah, he should.
He should have never played. And then he threw 60 passes.
Yeah, when his arm was fucked up. And that's having a sling and shit. I don't know if that was before it, but having that on your shoulder, that's got to affect it.
There's no way you can throw a proper pass without using your other shoulder in motion,
Right.
Right. There's no way that's not affecting it. So you have a torn muscle in your other one, not your throwing hand. There's no way that doesn't hurt when you throw with your other hand.
Oh, no way. Just putting that kind of torque on your body and what you do with those other muscles. There's no way there isn't a pull on that.
And these guys he's doing a play action on every play.
Yeah, pump fakes got to be excruciating. Fuck, like I said, when I had a rib, laying down was one of the hardest things I ever did.
I remember I fucked my hip up once, and it was I couldn't even lay on that side.
Yeah.
I couldn't even move my leg on that side properly. you start to feel for them when you get older.
Right. When you're a kid, they're superheroes and they're supposed to do all that. That dude has
a broken fingers. That fucker can still play.
You can hang on to the ball with the other 9. Shut up.
Yeah.
You make, back then it was like, you make $500,000. You got to get back out there. God, I remember Mikowski getting oh my God, they gave him $1 million.
Yeah. Now look at it. It's crazy.
Oh, Jesus. When Sandberg set the record. That was hilarious to me when you mentioned $7 million as Julio's top end. Back in, 1993 maybe? Ryan Sandberg sets the all-time sports athlete for any sport when he signs a contract with the Cubs for a whopping $7 million a year. Can he live up to this contract? It's just too big. There's too much pressure. Now we're washed up Julio might get 7 at 32.
Yeah, and then meanwhile the fucking owners are pocketing $100 million a game.
Yeah, dude, that was the front page of the paper. I might still have the article around here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I delivered the paper at the time.
Seahawks are still going for Baker.
Yeah, I read that
they
too.
Should.
Well, exactly. And they were basically saying, yeah, them and the Panthers got into camp and they got their quarterback room together and we're like, we could use some help.
Yeah. I mean,
it's one thing to be all positive and say everything looks good before everybody shows up. When you get in the building and it's fucking Matt Corral and Ham Darnold, I mean, yeah, I'd be bringing in Baker Mayfield, Drew Lock, and Geno Smith. What are you doing? You're really going to wait? You want the Browns to eat 50% of the contract? Let them eat 45 and get the fucking deal done. Don't be stupid.
Dude, if I was the Seahawks, I'd be doing whatever to get that.
Exactly. What's this magic eat 50% of the contract number? Give them a 60-40. Let them have their win. Take Baker Mayfield for next to fucking nothing. Upgrade your quarterback room. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I just don't understand why they haven't been on that.
I'm not down with the specifics. I'm assuming when they traded Russell Wilson that it was just straight up the entire contract. I can't imagine they would be retaining any of those numbers. But
I wouldn't imagine, no.
But like we talked about on vacation, the signing bonus thing is so fucking screwy. Who knows? They could be on the hook for 2 or 3 years for money owed. So
the dude. So an old accountant for the Packers and a couple other teams came on, and he's basically all the teams that have owners that have money, if the owners have money up front to just sign a check, they will just do that. He's any owner who has the money on hand will just put it as cash bonus type thing.
Right. It doesn't count against your cap.
Then there's owners like us or, like Steelers, Packers, where we can't do that.
Right. And
it's kind of fucked.
Yeah. I mean, that's been one of my favorite things to watch over the years is the way different teams have to operate in sports. For me as a Steelers fan, free agency always fucking sucked. I mean, 20 years of free agency where I'm like, well, what different? We're going to sign some backup guard for some other team who's, he'll come in and start and be serviceable, but that's not an exciting thing. Getting somebody else's safety. And, we only got mid-tier to lower tier cast off guys from other organizations that didn't fit their scheme as well as they fit ours. And we'd find value. But now in the last, how many years I like watching other teams go nuts in free agency. It's great.
Oh yeah. It's definitely intriguing for sure. Look at the fucking Chargers, and look at the Eagles, and look at Miami.
Yeah. Miami's been fun to watch.
They went nuts. Eagles picked up AJ Brown, picked up a bunch of linemen and stuff. They upgraded. They did great in the draft too. And then fucking Chargers have Khalil Mack on one side and Bosa on the other.
Oh, they did get Mack, huh?
It's dude, their fucking ends are insane. Fuck was it? There's a couple other tight ends that could be steals too.
That's such a crapshoot position.
And I've learned that tight end is one of the most like valued. Like if you don't have a tight end, you could end up with 1 point.
That's the biggest potential for differential in points.
And now, like a lot of the people I see, they like target tight ends in second round, first round, even.
Well, it's the thing that Jonah's always pointed out is that tight ends a lot of time comes down to the offensive coordinator. Some offensive coordinators just don't use a tight end at all.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well,
like look said, some quarterbacks don't like the tight end.
Cole Kmet, he could be good too.
Yeah, and a lot of people have him as a big riser this year.
Yep.
But it's going to come down to that quarterback play too, though. So but a lot of people have Fields set for a big year too.
I think what they're thinking is, if anything, he'll throw a lot of dumps to him.
Right. Which theoretically, that's the kind of situation where you would be looking for a tight end.
Yeah.
A younger guy and maybe not as stout of an offensive line, but they seem to be going all in on those wides. I mean, they've got that hodgepodge where nobody's really, I mean, I guess Mooney is probably technically ahead of everybody else.
And Mooney's going to be, but Mooney's not even like, he's kind of he's like Deontay Johnson, you know, he's like a little short route, like get open guy.
He's faster than fuck.
Oh yeah. He'll get deep, but like, you know, he'll just get open. You know?
Yeah, it makes me wonder how they're going to use this whole crew. As we coined it on the Dynasty Road Trip podcast, their wide receiver room, other than Mooney, is a cornucopia of shit.
Sizzling hot takes.
Fucking, you think Pringle's going to fucking top you out? Like, come on.
Right. Like, who's your two here? Like, I don't understand.
Well, it's got to be Pringle for two.
Well, what, don't they have Valdez Scantling?
No, KC.
No, they've got the other one. I always get them mixed up, and I don't know why.
Yeah, they picked
Equanimous.
Yeah, but he didn't even fucking play on the Packers.
Right, which I didn't understand why they signed him to such. It seemed like a fairly big deal.
He did play. He made some fucking great plays, and then he was out for the season on injuries. Well, and
he's a big body guy, isn't he? Isn't he like 6'4"?
He's bigger, yeah. He was a jump ball. Like, he jumped for the balls.
So there you go. You get your 6'4" guy, and you get Mooney on the outside and Pringle underneath. Like, I guess I can see the plan there, especially you mix in Kmet. Well, you've got another big target over the middle.
As a if I was a defensive coordinator, I just look at them and I'm go, all right, they're just going to do a bunch of fucking PA rollouts. Yeah. Like, and just hope to get them open.
But they've got Montgomery at running back who's good enough.
Montgomery's going to be big this year.
So, I guess I can see the offense. It looks like they're trying to spread the field.
Well, I'm glad they got rid of Nagy, so hopefully this fucking guy's competent.
Right. I mean, it's hard to go anywhere.
I could watch a Bears game, and I already knew the plays before they happened. It's just like, it's going to be a screen pass to wide receiver. It's going to be a screen pass to Cohen. They'll run the ball. Be another 5-yard pass. It's just they did the same shit every time.
Yeah.
Maybe Ayuk will have a big year on Niners if Debo holds out.
Well, even if not, I think he was still working his way back from injury a little bit last year.
Dude, I always thought he was good.
Well, when Debo went down and he was healthy, he basically went right to that Debo Samuel role, and he was getting 19 touches in a game. They just ran that offense through him. Yeah. And then he got hurt, and Debo came back and reclaimed his role. But then, like I said, I think Ayuk I think that's another muscle injury. Those tend to linger. You don't get your explosivity back. I would look for him to be a guy that has a much better year this year.
Oh, yeah, he should, for sure. And another, like, up-and-comer, I think, is KJ Osborne on the Vikings.
Okay.
He literally finished top 30.
Really?
Yeah. No one even says his name. And look at Brandon Cooks. He's fucking 97 and he's finishing 20th.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the ultimate lack of respect guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He finally begrudgingly made me give him my ultimate respect last year.
No, I fucking hated him for the longest time.
Well, somebody was always trying to trade him to me in a dynasty league. I'm like, motherfucker, why are you all trying to trade him? Like, I realize that you guys don't know that my other 3 leagues are trying to deal him to me, but there's something weird in the universe when everyone is divesting independently of each other. He just produces everywhere he goes, no matter who the quarterback is, no matter how bad the team is. He's winding up with at least 900 yards and 6 touchdowns. Doesn't matter what dumpster fire you stick him in.
Yeah.
But the other part with him was all the teams were moving on from him in less than 2 years. And it's like, that's not a thing that keeps happening to somebody who's helpful and productive. But apparently he must be the exception to that. I've never heard anything to say that he's got a personality, quote unquote, problem, or that he's an issue in the locker room,
dude, if he's
anything like that.
If he's gone team to team that much and no one said a thing, he's a good guy.
Well, exactly. That's why it's like, you're not, sometimes when you see a talented guy bounce around, you're like, oh, he likes to put his dick in the mashed potatoes at the team spread. Like this is a problem guy.
I don't think I've ever seen a Brandon Cooks headline ever.
No, that's what I'm saying. There should be some whisper somewhere that, bad teammate or doesn't buy into what, nothing. No, there's never been a negative word said about Cooks.
You know, what's also interesting is Marquise Brown and Cardinals, since Hoppo's out for the first 6 weeks.
Right.
Ooh. And him and Kyler were on the same college team.
Well, the thing I didn't realize that Jonah pointed out to me as well is that when we were talking earlier about some of those wide receiver hodgepodge rooms, apparently the Cardinals wide receiver room has a whole bunch of Marquise Brown clones. He said Andy Isabella is about the same age, same
100%. I've been on him. Christian Kirk was like that too. I've been on all those dudes. Those guys all those dudes ran 4.240s.
Right. So that's another offense where I'm like, how are they going to do this? Because everybody, other than Hopkins, is basically a small, super fast clone of each other.
That's where Madden almost helps me with this stuff, because I know every wide receiver. I know their 40s,
right?
Just from drafting and shit in our league. Yeah, it's I've been on all the wide receiver. Isabella is underrated. He is
I missed
fast
that
as fuck. I fucking forgot Parker went to New England. Why would Miami fucking give Devontae Parker to New England in the same division?
That's the part that kills me. I totally understand moving on from Parker. They want to go a new direction, blah, blah, blah. But in division, you just gave them the best wide receiver they've had since probably fucking Randy Moss and Wes Welker.
They do that all the time too. Miami does. I don't get that. They've traded to them.
Well, shit, they traded him Welker.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Bateman? He's supposedly going to be fucking Baltimore's one, basically.
Really?
They don't have Marquise Brown no more.
No. So, I guess it's a wide open deal.
That's what they're saying.
Technically, number one's Mark Andrews, but yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Whereas, technically, the number one running back is the quarterback. Yeah, they've got another weird offense. I love those variations in the NFL, though, where it's become almost like a UFC thing where each team's got strengths and weaknesses, and is like, oh yeah, these guys will dismantle 90% of the league. But when they run into this defense, they're fucked.
One of my favorite games I've ever watched is when Miami played Baltimore. They fucking shit stomped. They played man on and they blitzed 8 every time.
Wow.
And they didn't even move the ball, because they just forced Lamar to throw quick pass every time or get sacked. And he didn't do shit. Yeah, they didn't even have a chance.
After that game, everybody started saying, do the Dolphins have the blueprint for how to stop Lamar now? Has the league figured it out?
Well, the great thing is, since I always watch games with my brother on Sunday, so we watch Packer game, we go on, Red Zone, and then we watch the Miami game. And that literally is one of the most fun defensive games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Lamar was literally spiking the ball, pissed off. He couldn't even get out of the pocket before he was smoked. It was beautiful. And I really appreciate guys who come up with that type of stuff.
Right.
That coordinator was sitting in there you know what? Let's fucking try this. the thing that the Cardinals really pissed me, like, they don't do, like, they just don't run with it. Like, he just runs around in the backfield. Like, there was that playoff game where they lost, and he threw, like, he completed, like, 6 passes for, like, 20 yards.
Yeah.
They never even tried to run the ball with him.
And Connor was a guy who was never really considered to be a hands guy. And last year, he really showed that if you want him to catch the ball, he can catch the damn ball. There was options. Yeah, he was a guy I didn't have a lot of faith in him producing in Arizona. And boy, he showed me.
I agree. After he had that one good year Steelers, then he was like,
then he was hurt.
He couldn't even stay on the field.
Right.
And then he went there and was just trucking dudes. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Well, that tells you how bad Pittsburgh's line was for about 2 years there, because he couldn't
Pittsburgh's
do
just
anything.
Hard-nosed fucking dudes, you know.
That line was crap, though. So, I mean, even Najee's numbers last year are so much more impressive than they look, given the way that line blocks. Like, any progression from them as a unit is going to be so big for him.
The fantasy podcast I was listening to blew my mind. He was on the field like 20% more than any other running back in the league.
Yeah.
Najee was. But it's crazy. Nobody else. He had so many attempts, but he had like 3-yard average run.
Right.
It's like, it's crazy. It's like
the numbers don't look good, but the numbers also don't tell the tale.
Yeah. I mean, Ben doesn't have the arm he did used to, so they just like kind of pounded it.
There were no holes. Like, most of the yards he got were in spite of that offensive line and not because of them. So, like I said, any upgrades they made are going to play in huge for him this year. He might be a guy you can steal at a little bit lower value, because I think he's just going to improve.
Tomlin said that Najee's going to be like a 2-run back, and then they're going to bring in that Snell, I think. They're going to use him as catchback. They said they're going to do that.
He's got shit for hands.
I'm surprised Steelers didn't go keep Najee,
get some veteran
and
depth.
Then get like a small catchback. Like, I'm just surprised they never did that.
In the draft, I'm not sure what we got there. I was looking for more of like a veteran, like a third down type of guy, just somebody to have, because clearly they don't. I mean, if they believe in Snell, that's news to me, because
that's what they're saying. Because I'm looking it up. Yeah, it's him.
Which kills me, because like you just said, look at the percentage they put Najee on the field last year. You don't do that if you think your backup, who has more experience by far than Najee, is any good. You play him as well. They didn't do that, and there was a reason, because they got nothing when they did it. And
I think, what they did last year, I think fucking Tomlin's like, shit, we can't run Najee 500 times. They're like, we got to do something here.
Not recommended.
I'm just surprised they didn't pick up another back.
No, like exactly what I was saying. Some kind of veteran, some cheap guy on the market. Maybe they still do it in camp, but I don't know.
Oh, they did. They did pick up a guy.
Who'd they get?
Matemio Durant?
Oh, I don't remember hearing this. Rookie?
Looks like he's a rookie. Yeah.
I say I've never heard of him. So yeah, probably one of those undrafted free agents. Yeah, I still look for them to bring in a veteran, a guy that doesn't necessarily need to be there through all of camp.
He won most valuable player in college on his team. He set Duke's single season rushing record last year.
That vaunted ground attack at Duke.
Maybe he'll be a catchback. He's kind of little now that I'm looking.
That could be. Maybe he'll be in the mix to be the third down guy.
He's 195, 6 foot.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting year. And haven't had an off season without Ben since before my kid was born.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Last time Ben wasn't our quarterback, I had hair.
I don't even remember. It's so long ago. I don't remember who played quarterback for the Steelers before him.
Tommy Maddox.
Jesus. I know his name, but I don't remember him.
He was the XFL MVP. It's actually a former first-round pick. I think he was drafted in like the 90s to be the guy that would replace John Elway, and then wasn't even around by the time Elway retired. And yeah, kind of had a rebirth in the XFL, which landed him a shot with the Steelers. He wound up winning the starting job. He was really good for a while. He was actually the quarterback at that game I was talking about, the Monday nighter that we went to earlier. I got to watch Tommy Maddox outduel Peyton Manning.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tommy Maddox and Peyton Manning.
Man.
What a time. Yeah, we were in the back left corner of the end zone. First drive, I look at my buddy and said, touchdown to Hines Ward in this corner of the end zone right in front of us. 2 minutes later, there it was, fade route, Hines Ward right in our face. Like, what'd I fucking tell you? There it is.
Dude, I would love to get like a front row in the back of an end zone to just talk shit. Oh, that'd be so good. Just one time. I
think we must have been in I think these were like friends and family tickets for players. Yeah. And so, yeah, our section was a little different. Like a couple ladies next to us basically just sat there the whole time eating wings. I'm not even sure they were paying any attention to the game. Just case after case of wings being destroyed.
You're like, motherfucker, that should have gone to a real football fan.
Right? Like, your son's on the team, isn't he, ma'am? Like, you're going to sit here and eat $300 worth of wings.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that was Terry Bradshaw's first game, first time back in Pittsburgh in like years. They had him on the field at halftime. That it was,
dang.
And, man, who was that big fucking tackle that the Colts had? Big fucking house.
I remember Wilfork. That's all I can think of.
I keep wanting to say Tarek Glenn. That can't be right.
The only big ass house is Wilfork that I remember. That dude was fucking. That dude was literally a walking house.
It was Tarek Glenn. He's only 6'5", 332.
That's a lie.
That can't be right.
That shit's always wrong.
Look bigger than him.
They have Wilfork at 6'2", 300 pounds. Oh, that dude was easily 500.
I would say he was closer to 4 than 3.
From what I've gathered from interviews and stuff, they're like, oh, it says you're this, and they're like, yeah, that's off.
They put that out in the team media guide.
Ain't no way Wilfork's 300 pounds, 6'2".
No. Maybe when he was a rookie before he put any weight on, but that
dude caused an earthquake when he fell.
Yeah, I'm sure MIT could measure that on the Richter scale.
For sure.